1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Prime Minister has appreciated the debt relief measures by the G20 countries, International Monetary Fund and the World Bank for the developing countries including Pakistan. Imran Khan has directed the Minister for Food Security to continuously monitor the demand and the supply of essential commodities to avert any kind of shortage during Ramadan. The Foreign Minister has called for providing unconditional assistance to the developing countries for their economic revival in the prevailing situation due to coronavirus outbreak. The President says the nation chiseled by challenges will successfully sail through the crisis of COVID-19 pandemic. In occupied Kashmir, the Hurriyat leadership has expressed serious concern over the safety of the illegally detained Kashmiris languishing in the Indian jails in view of the spread of coronavirus pandemic. The Japanese Prime Minister has extended a state of emergency in the country to contain the spread of coronavirus epidemic. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan has appreciated the debt relief measures by the G20 countries, International Monetary Fund and the World Bank for the developing countries including Pakistan. He was talking to the finance advisor Dr. Abdul Hafiz Sheikh in Islamabad today. The finance advisor informed the Prime Minister about the planned approval of an additional $1.4 billion concessionary financing from the International Monetary Fund to deal with the economic impact of coronavirus. He also updated the Prime Minister about the progress on various components of the economic stimulus package announced by the government. Prime Minister Imran Khan has directed the Minister for National Food Security to continuously monitor the demand and the supply of essential commodities, particularly in the wake of Ramadan, so that timely decisions could be made to prevent any kind of shortage of food in any part of the country. Talking to the Minister for National Food Security, Syed Fakhar Imam, in Islamabad today, he said the government is committed to effectively check the smuggling of wheat and other edible items. The Prime Minister said an ordinance is being introduced to control hoarding and smuggling so that strict law could be enforced against the people involved in such activities. Mahmood Ali Kasuri Trust Vice Chairman Nasir Mahmood Kasuri called on the Prime Minister Imran Khan in Islamabad today and handed over to him a cheque of 20 million rupees for Prime Minister Corona Relief Fund. Nasir Mahmood Kasuri apprised the Prime Minister that Mahmood Ali Kasuri Trust has been working in collaboration with the Akhuwat Foundation and the administrations of Rawalpindi and Islamabad to look after the people affected by the coronavirus, and in this regard more financial assistance will be provided. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi says Pakistan welcomes the decision of the G20 countries, International Monetary Fund and the World Bank regarding debt relief for developing countries. Talking to IMF resident representative in Pakistan, Teresa Daban Sanchez, in Islamabad today, he said the developing countries should be provided unconditional assistance for the economic revival in the prevailing situation. The Foreign Minister said Prime Minister Imran Khan has called for restructuring of loans of developing countries to support the weak economies in the current difficult times. Shah Mahmood Qureshi said despite its limited resources, Pakistan has taken effective steps to contain the spread of coronavirus and mitigate its negative effects. Meanwhile, addressing a news conference in Islamabad, Shah Mahmood Qureshi said the G20 countries' decision to suspend the developing countries' debt payments for 1 year will provide fiscal space to the developing countries, including Pakistan, to cope with the situation arising out of coronavirus. He said 76 countries, including Pakistan, will simultaneously benefit from this debt relief, and its application will start from the 1st of May. The Foreign Minister, terming the decision as historic and timely, said the relief is on both interest payment and the principal amount. The foreign minister said it will have substantial impact and provide much needed fiscal space to Pakistan, which will be used for welfare of the Pakistani people, especially disadvantaged segments of the society. Shah Mahmood Qureshi said the International Monetary Fund is also meeting today and expected to approve $1.4 billion fiscal liquidity for Pakistan. He said this amount will also be used in the relief efforts. The Minister for Industries, Hamad Azhar, has said the world has started taking positive steps towards debt relief for the developing countries. In a tweet today, he said the credit goes to Prime Minister Imran Khan for championing the issue on behalf of all the countries struggling with debt issues. This is Radio Pakistan. The President, Dr. Arif Alvi, has expressed the hope that the nation would successfully sail through the crisis of COVID-19 pandemic, as multiple challenges in the past had chiseled it into a brave and steadfast nation. Addressing the distribution ceremony of ration boxes among coolies, loaders of the Pakistan Railways, arranged by the Pakistan Baitul Mal at the Rawalpindi railway station, the President appealed to the nation to demonstrate unity and discipline to fight the coronavirus challenge. The President expressed satisfaction over government's measures that have helped control the spread of the pandemic. The President, who also inspected the train converted into a quarantine facility to support the government in its anti-COVID-19 operations, said though the ratio of coronavirus cases was lower than the feared estimates, however, the people should show no laxity towards the precautionary measures with frequent hand washing and social distancing. The advisor on finance, Dr. Abdul Hafiz Sheikh, has constituted a 5-member committee including senior officials from the Finance Division and the Federal Board of Revenue to sit with the representatives of the retail sector and finalize proposals for providing relief to the retail sector in the wake of the prevailing situation. He made this decision while chairing a video conference with the representatives and office bearers of the Retailers Association of Pakistan. Dr. Abdul Hafiz Sheikh directed the committee to follow a quick action approach to decide the mechanism of support, as the government wants to alleviate the hardships being faced by various sectors of the economy. The Minister for Planning and Development, Asad Umar, has said weaker segments of the society will be protected at this difficult hour. He made the remarks during his visit to Cash Payment Centre in Islamabad today, where he reviewed the arrangements to disperse cash assistance to the deserving families under the Essas Emergency Cash Programme. The Minister said all decisions were taken in a coordinated manner to check the spread of the virus. In occupied Kashmir, the Hurriyat leaders and organizations have expressed serious concern over the safety of the illegally detained Kashmiris languishing in Indian jails in view of the fast spread of coronavirus. According to Kashmir Media Service, presently thousands of Kashmiri political leaders and activists are languishing in jails of India and the occupied territory on false charges. In the separate statements in Srinagar, the Hurriyat leaders including Farooq Ahmad Tawhidi, Qazi Yasir, Ghulam Rasul Khami and Khwaja Firdaus said more than 20 prisoners are being kept in a small cell in jails, exposing them to the deadly coronavirus. In Japan, the government has extended the state of emergency to the entire country to contain the spread of coronavirus epidemic. This was announced by the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe after a special meeting with medical experts in Tokyo today. Earlier, Shinzo Abe had declared a month-long state of emergency in 7 regions where a recent spike in coronavirus cases has prompted warnings that emergency medical facilities could collapse. And finally, the weather. Mainly partly cloudy weather is likely to prevail in most parts of the country during the next 24 hours. However, rain with wind and thunderstorm with random hailstorm is expected in the Punjab, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, North Balochistan, Gilgit-Baltistan and Kashmir. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.